Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the art of seduction, and we're going to look at two playbooks for making that first move that are, well, completely opposite.
And really, it all boils down to this one single question. But as you're about to see, the advice on how to answer it,
Yeah.
it's all over the map.
Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to break down these two opposing schools of thought on who should be the one to kick things off, and, maybe more importantly, why.
On one side, you've got the classic traditional approach, right? Women signal their interest, but they wait for the man to actually make the move. But the other philosophy? It just flips that whole script. The idea is to do the complete opposite of what comes naturally to you. So if you're shy, guess what? You're the one who's supposed to act. And if you're the bold one, maybe you should try waiting for a change.
Okay, so if we're going with signals, just how loud do they need to be? Let's dig into that by focusing on something super simple: the power of a single glance.
You know, it might not sound like a lot, but holding someone's gaze for a full 3 seconds in a social setting, that's a really direct signal. Honestly, for the person doing it, it can feel like a total eternity. But here's the million-dollar question. Does the message actually land?
And yeah, that's where we hit the real snack. There's often this massive disconnect. What feels like a super clear, powerful signal to you might just be completely invisible to the other person.
Get this. One study actually put this to the test, and they found it took, on average, 29 separate looks from a woman before a man even realized she was interested. 29, can you believe that?
Which, of course, brings us right back to the heart of this whole debate. Who's got the job of turning a signal, or, 29 of them, into an actual conversation?
And here we go again. You see the two philosophies just clashing head-on. The really rigid view says men have to be the ones to initiate. No exceptions, full stop. But the other, more fluid view, it's all about breaking your own patterns. You're supposed to do the exact opposite of what you'd normally do.
So the argument behind the man must initiate rule is basically this. Guys are, generally speaking, not as good at picking up on those subtle, nonverbal cues. A simple, polite reply can easily get mistaken for genuine romantic interest. And that's why, a lot of the time, the only signal that really cuts through the noise is a direct, explicit no, or just no reply at all.
Okay, so if you thought that was a big difference, wait till we get to the simple question of where you should even go to meet someone. This is where the advice gets even crazier. So for women, the advice is all about strategy. It's about putting yourself in a place where you're outnumbered. We're talking about some pretty specific spots, like a Scottish pub during a big rugby match, or major sporting events, maybe even networking events in fields that are usually male-dominated, like finance or tech. The whole idea is simple: maximize your visibility.
And for the guys, well, you guessed it, it's the complete opposite. Go to places and activities where women are the majority. Think about it. Group fitness classes like yoga or Pilates, or maybe spirituality events. And yeah, definitely avoid the football matches. The logic for both sides is actually the same, just flipped. Play the numbers game. Go where the odds are stacked in your favor.
So we've got all these conflicting strategies, right? Who should act? Where should you go? But believe it or not, there's actually a surprising point of agreement here that kind of ties it all together.
And this right here, this is the key that unlocks both strategies. The goal isn't to find your twin, a clone of yourself. It's not about needing to share every single hobby.
And this is really the ultimate takeaway from both perspectives, isn't it? Having a real, authentic connection is so much more important than having a perfectly overlapping list of hobbies. You can absolutely share a life without sharing every single interest, because at the end of the day, the goal is to meet someone, not to totally reinvent yourself into a different person.
So we'll leave you with this to think about. As you're trying to navigate this whole complicated world of attraction, are you really looking for your mirror, someone who reflects you perfectly? Or are you looking for your other half, someone who complements you completely?